Hello, Singaporeans. Do you think PAP government can tackle the cost of living crisis and protect workers from inflationary pressures? Today, there is no doubt the cost of living crisis is hitting Singaporeans hard. Many governments around the world, to their credit, did try to shelter households and companies from the worst of inflation by providing financial support, for example, for gas and electricity prices. But the action of central banks raising interest rates at a pace unseen over the last 4 decades and now keeping interest rates higher for longer counterrate these efforts to reduce the impact of inflation on working people. Central bankers take the view that high inflation is a sign of an overheating economy, which requires credit to become more expensive in order to squeeze aggregate demand, slow down the economy, and get inflation back under control. To me, this view is wrong. First, the COVID-19 pandemic wreaked havoc on global supply chain, affecting everything from the production of computer microchips to timber long after the lockdowns ended. This was followed by energy, food, and commodity prices surging again when Russia invaded Ukraine. A third wave of inflation struck when business profited from the general trend of accelerating inflation, not only to pass on higher input costs, but also high or enhanced profit margins into selling prices. I think Singapore needs to come up with new economy policies and steer markets in the right directions. Here are 4 points I want to make. First, PAP government should not focus only on public financial support after inflation has been triggered. They should also prevent inflation in the first place. This requires a price policy to guard against businesses using a general cost shock to increase profits by pushing prices higher than just the cost increases. This does not mean that governments should micromanage the economy by setting prices for every single product or service. It does mean, however, that the price of key goods and services that are essential for the functioning of an economy should be kept when necessary. We can see this example in Spain. When gas prices soared on international markets, Spain kept the price of gas to be used in the production of electricity with good results on overall inflation. Price control policy has the added advantage of mobilizing consumers against opportunistic business greed. Secondly, strong wage formation institutions together with robust social dialogue allow workers to catch up with inflation by bargaining for higher wages and, more generally, to negotiate a fair sharing of the cost of living crisis. Did the strong relationship between NTUC and PAP government really help our workers more, or they care more for the companies and employers? We need to strengthen and support collective bargaining and minimum wages to increase wages to help narrow the gap between the 10% highest and the 10% lowest paid workers in Singapore. Third, alongside wages catching up with inflation, our social safety benefits also need to be upgraded, especially to prevent poverty. Low-income earners are disproportionately bearing the cost of living crisis, as they spend a higher share of their income on basic goods such as energy and food. As a result, efforts to make social benefits poverty resilient are particularly important. Did PAP government help to distribute income more equally? Fourth, windfall taxes on corporate profits. We can target excessive corporate profit making and redistribute it back to workers, social benefits and or public investment, and also to have wealth tax on high net worth individuals. It is far too simplistic for Singapore to simply compete on labor costs and taxations. After all, plenty of companies still flock to New York, London, Paris, or San Francisco, even though taxation and labor costs are high in all those places. And this is a true fact. Last and not least, this leads us to the longer term objective of building an economy more resilient to the inflationary consequences of external shocks. I will love to hear your thoughts. I am Ben Puah from Red Dot United. Thank you.